Hey everybody, Nick here, and today I got some disassembly and maintenance to do for you on this little guy right here. This is the Ritter RSK Mk1 Mini-G1 something or another. Doug, shorter names, please, please. Anyways, I want to take this guy apart and see what makes it tick. Now, this is an Axis-style lock, a sliding bar lock. So there is absolutely, I believe it's called the Able lock when Hogue does it. But what that means is that it's a little bit of a pain to disassemble sometimes. But what I'm going to do is, rather than taking the whole thing apart, I'm going to take the scale off here, show you what the inside of it looks like so you get a sense of that, but then go ahead and proceed and do this as an integral style disassembly, as you'll see. This guy is factory fresh. I ordered this guy from, okay, pivot was T10, these screws are T8. And T8 is great to see, by the way. There's way too much T6 in the world, so I'm happy about this. Put those two there. If you're curious about any of the tools I'm using for this or any other disassembly, go ahead and go to nickshabazz.com/tools, and you will see every damn thing I'm using. All right, so I should be able to lift this off entirely, and you can see exactly what this is. Oh, that's nice. Mini-RSK 2.9. Okay, yeah, it is 2.9 inches, I suppose. But yeah, what we see here are the liners. We see the inside of the G10, which has been milled out actually pretty precisely for having the liners in there. That's cool. You can see the pocket clip collars in there to allow the pocket clip to mount to both sides. And what we see here is the springs and everything like that. I mean, look, this is a pretty familiar internal, so to speak. Go ahead and wipe this off just to make sure we clear it up. But honestly, I don't need to take these two screws here in the middle. You didn't need to take off. There's really no reason to take it down to this level because you could just as easily have left those on and then you disassemble and reassemble the knife like I told you. Or like I'm about to show you, that is. So I'll go ahead and I'll screw these guys back in real quick. Screwed in. Screwed in. So at this point in time, and actually you don't even have to take out the back screws. Now that I'm thinking about it, there's literally no reason to take off any of the screws but the pivot for this. So I'll go ahead and put these guys back together, and then I'll show you how I would go ahead and if I was just maintaining this in my daily life, because, I mean, you can take it apart. Look, it's not that hard to take that apart. You just, you remove the spring there, you slide the pin out through one of the directions or another there. I mean, it works out, you can do it, but there's honestly just not much need of it. And it turns into a much longer project than it would have been otherwise. It's not terrible, but you can see exactly there's a very similar knife in terms of its lockup. That is the Benchmade Mini Bug Out is kind of similar, and actually you can see me do that full process there. But for the moment, don't need to. So let's dodge any bullets we can dodge, you know? What I'm doing right now is I'm just going to push this pivot right out using this watch spring bar tool here as a... And my goal here, actually, let's see, it might be easier if I'm pulling back on the lock bar a little bit. Wow, that's kind of stuck in place, isn't it? Interesting. It's not going to make me do that, is it? I'm going to try a different tool here. This is there's a tool. Let's pop this through. A little more blunt. Shouldn't affect the screws. There we go. Okay, just needed a little bit more force than I was willing to put on it with that little spring bar tool. So push that through, and there we go. And actually, this tool was this tool was made by a guy. He's actually selling them on Etsy these days. But this is a tool that's made to basically do just that. For it's originally for Benchmade, but it actually works on this Hogue as well. So I'll go ahead and I'll try and remember to drop a link to his little shop on there. This is not on the tools list, and in fact, you can get them in aluminum, and yeah. But anyways, it's apparently it works here too. I was just using it as a stick, but hey, I'm happy to have it be the properly sized stick. Unfortunately, it's not the properly sized stick for the next task, which is getting in here and just pulling this washer out. This washer is unfortunately sort of... Oh, there you go. Come on. Come on out of there. It's okay, washer. Don't be bashful. There you go. So what we now have is the entire handle of this knife is one solid chunk still, right? The lockup here still works fine. Not logging anything up, mind you, but it's a thing. But everything else is kind of good to go. So what I can then proceed to do is to clean this guy out. So we'll go ahead and we will start off by just kind of wiping this off. And this guy, like I said, is factory fresh. It just shipped to me from Hogue. Although I purchased this as a private citizen. Actually, the one really good thing to talk about as I'm doing this process is that this no longer voids the warranty. Hogue has actually, since my review, in the time that is, since my review of the Ritter RSK, the big one of this guy, Hogue has changed their warranty policy. It used to be, oh my God, disassemble your knife, the warranty is null and void and all that. My understanding is that they weren't actually enforcing that, but it's still kind of an ugly thing, right? That's the first interaction your customer is going to have with your company. If you're like, well, if you maintain your tool properly, we're washing our hands of you. It's an ugly thing to say. But they have revised their warranty language completely. Now their language says something along the lines of, and read it on their website. I think it's hogueinc.com/warranty. But now what it says is very straightforward. It's just like, well, if you disassemble your knife and you hurt it when you disassemble it, if you put it back together wrong, if you lose a screw, that's on you. But otherwise, disassembling your knife and properly maintaining it doesn't affect the warranty. It's a little detail. And, many would say, well, Nick, why are you dragging them over the coals if they were doing it right anyway? But you want to say the right thing as well as doing the right thing, right? So I'm very, very happy, actually, that Hogue went that extra mile and did that. That makes this knife, I mean, look, I'm a fan of the RSK there. That was the big size version of this was one of the contenders for Knife of the Year for me. For 2019, and this little one, well, we know how I feel about smaller pocket knives, right? So, I sort of expect, and I'm putting a little bit of, I'm using knife pivot lube here, although that's not clear. I should probably move to a bottle that's not worn off by repeated use. But nonetheless, what we've got here is it's a nice little detail. It's the fact that they were willing to go that extra mile to show their customers that they, give a damn and they stand behind their product. That's a win to me. So I appreciate that very much, and I think it's a really big thing for Hogue to have done. And I mean that both in the sense of big, as in it excites me about buying their pocket knives, but also big in the sense of it's a kind thing for them to do. It's a good thing for them to do. So, okay, now what I want to do is I want to press this guy through. Which side did I remove? I removed the pivot. Yeah, okay, so the back side of this guy is the side that I need to have the pivot on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a little bit of pivot, of lube onto your pivot here, just so that it's there. That'll both help me with sticking the pivot through here, as well as with getting everything in there. But I'm actually going to go ahead and I'm going to use that tool. Which side of it goes into this size pivot? It's this one. Okay, good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this tool right through here. Again, you can do this, though, with anything. The nice part about this tool is that it aligns everything such that right now I can go in there and I can check. I can see, okay, I've got the two washers are in there in place. And then I can just slip this onto here. And then everything's aligned. Everything's, as long as this tool here is aligned with the flat there, what I can do is this. Watch this. I'm going to pull back on the lock bar there, and then just push the tool out with the pivot, and I'm through. That's not something that's so difficult. I'm going to be honest with you. It doesn't take that much in the way of force or effort, but by God, having that little thing around there, it's kind of nice for something like this. It just makes something you do relatively rarely a little bit nicer. And so I'm actually, that worked really well. I'd used it before on a Benchmade 940, actually, but I hadn't used it on this, and it's good to see that it works there, too. So, anyways, there you go. I guess, probably I should say that the guy sent me one of those for free to check out, but it was just more in the sense of, Nick, should I make these? Is this useful to anybody? I'm like, yeah, yes, it is. So, okay, what I've got to do next here is just get everything dialed in. So right now I have no blade play, but I also don't have much of a free droppy action. So what I'd like to do is loosen this up a little bit. Okay. Action's pretty free, no blade play, but I want to see if I can go a little looser still. Just because I'd like to get a little bit droppier. I appear to have gone exactly the wrong direction there. Or, perhaps more likely, I have adjusted the scale screws incorrectly so that things are binding a little bit. That's a possibility as well. Okay, already the action's not bad. I have no blade play. Let's see if I can go a little bit, and I'm just making little tiny adjustments here. No blade play at all. Very, very light. I'm going to try and go a little looser here. Okay. It's super free droppy. No play. Dead centered. Dead centered? Maybe not dead centered, but it sure as heck isn't doing so swinging. It's like almost dead centered. Either way, it's severely ill-scented if it ain't dead. But either way, we're all put back together now. That worked out really well. So, Hogue, sincerely, I'll probably mention this in the review itself because that's really cool. But thank you for listening to your customers. I really do appreciate that, and it makes you guys come off really nice to the community in general. I think that's absolutely excellent, and yeah. So, well done. Everything is running great now. No problems. And there you go. Hope this was interesting to you, and have yourselves an absolutely wonderful rest of your day. Bye now.